Salt Lake City, Utah, head kick curse. This needs to be the first entry because many fans thought this was going to be the one. Let's rewind back to Utah in 2022. Leon Edwards was going into the 5th round, 1-3 in the scorecards. There was no possible way for him to win, and especially in altitude, what are you meant to do? That. You do that. Open stance, feint a 2, and go for a rear high kick. Now let's fast forward to another Utah fight card. It's for the BMF bout. Justin Gaethje KOs Dustin Poirier flush head kick just like Usman. The only difference is that the stances are switched. It's still open stance, it's just that the orthodox fighter this time got the KO. And now let's fast forward to the 2024 Utah card. Khalil knows his explosiveness is what gets him the win. He needs to end it early for many reasons. It's altitude, so he's going to be a walking TKO after round 3. He's never been in a championship fight before, so he just needs to finish fast too. And he promised to do no grappling, so he will be on life support if he gets hurt after round 3 and cannot panic wrestle to recover. In round 2, in comes the Elden Ring boss, just tanking the last second rear kick like it was nothing. Not only that, with 2 seconds left, he comes into the pocket like he wants more. He wants more. What is wrong with this guy? And the setup was so clean too. Khalil never used his rear leg for a high kick in round 2 at all until the last second. So the curse is definitely broken. All title fights in Utah always ending with a KO, like high kick, open stance KO, will never happen anymore. Game cover curse. There's a bunch of videos talking about how the curse literally has a 100% rate to create a downfall for the fighter, especially in the next fight or the near future. Every single person in the game cover lost or lost their mind. I'm looking at you, John Jones, thus making it a curse. So with that being said, UFC 5 released a deluxe edition. Basically UFC 5, but a lot of updated alter egos are packaged inside. And look who is in the cover. Yes, there are a lot of fighters, but look at the new ones. Wei Lee has yet to have a fight booked, so we will see that one in the future. Max and Ilya are fighting each other, so I guess those two cancel each other out. I'm not too sure. And Sean O'Malley is finally on a game cover, and he recently got dominated by Marab, losing his bout and almost everything. I think Dana White doesn't care about O'Malley anymore because his star power felt like novelty, even though he's the one that forced it anyway, which is sad to think about, but let's look at the boy right here. Powhatan straight up did not give a fuck and said Shama to the cursed gods. He won the next fight in spectacular fashion too. And not by some robbery or decision fight. It was a full-on TKO in round 4. He's just teasing the cursed gods now. Haircut curse. Not technically true, considering he shaved his head just before the embedded series, which the curse is tailored specifically for fighters recording their haircut in these vlogs. Alex didn't really do this, so this doesn't really count, but you know what? I think it's nice to just add it to the video regardless. Because the man himself gets a haircut every time he fights, just to tease the curse gods even more, because he knows that no curse is going to work on him. Maybe he really is using black magic and is a shaman. Yeri was correct. Glove curse. This is not that big of a curse, and I would say it is also a very, very weak entry in this video, but fuck it, we ball. And honestly, I don't even consider this one a curse too, but the UFC technically said it's a curse, so it counts. Even if it's just a social media intern just saying it still counts as official to me. So what is it exactly? When the new UFC gloves got introduced, people were skeptical because it just looked the same, but a little worse. But there was still a good number of people who think it might be promising. It was speculated that it will be lighter, so there will be more knockouts. And that was kind of the appeal of it.
Maybe it will result in more knockouts because the glove is a little lighter, but I mean, what's 4 ounces to 3 ounces?
And it turned out for a while, it did the opposite. It was pretty bad. And it looked like they just wanted a way to get more money. But anyway, Pereira didn't really break the curse. He wasn't the one. There was still a bunch of knockdowns and KOs from the new gloves before Pereira's fights. It was more like the UFC glove change, quote unquote, curse didn't affect him at all. The power was still always there, and I just wanted to add to it because my last Pereira video was many months ago. So think of this as like sort of an update. Khalil Roundtree Glory Champion Curse. This is interviewed and speculated for a while before the fight. Khalil has won against 3 Glory kickboxers, and the only one left is the final boss, Alex Pereira. That's what the interview basically proposed it as. Khalil first beat Saki, in amazing fashion too. Saki was also known for his amazing kickboxing, but he was definitely not in his prime during that fight. I don't know, maybe it was just me. He then fought Carl Robertson, which Khalil destroyed as well. But to be fair, Carl is a bit of a fraud when he was considered in this curse. Carl was 0-3 in kickboxing, meaning he wasn't a Glory champion like the other 2 fighters. He just competed in Glory. And finally, the third person, the controversial win against former Glory champion Dustin Jacoby. This one speaks for itself. People thought Jacoby got robbed. It was a split decision win, and Khalil was declared the winner regardless, making the curse sound even more cursed. And in comes Pereira to break the curse and TKO Khalil Roundtree. Just like that. Light heavyweight curse.
The light heavyweight division is the single most cursed division in the UFC, the 205-pound division, and see why time and time and again, the champs in this division can't seem to hold on to the belt.
Now, this may not be considered a quote-unquote curse with its usual meaning, but before Alex Pereira, this goddamn light heavyweight division was cursed for a long time. The number of external incidents just making the division stale, confusing, and just so frustrating. TJ basically sums it up very good. It was the most unstable division for a long time. John Jones vacates the bout, books Jan versus Reyes. Reyes technically got robbed from John Jones, so it's nice to see Reyes hold the bout then. Oh wait, never mind. Jan destroys the Adesanya hype train for double champ status, which counts as a defense, but also not really? Then loses to 40-year-old Glover. Glover then loses to Yeri straight after. Yeri vacates the bout. So for the vacant bout, Jan versus Ankalaev, a draw. The light heavyweight bout does not have a home for a long time. Glover versus Jamal Hill. Hill wins but then vacates the bout. Now finally, Yeri versus Alex Pereira for the real vacant bout. He broke the curse. After 4 or so frustrating years in the light heavyweight division, the bout finally belongs to someone. The Drake curse, specifically UFC 300. The Drake curse is quite strong, especially with Drake himself having a very bad record. He still gets wins with his betting, but majority of the time, he doesn't. Which is why the curse was born, and why it's such a big meme. This right here is his recent bets, and he was going on a crazy losing streak. The only one he won was from Alex Pereira. The Drake curse was against Alex Pereira, but he won by KO against Jamal Hill in UFC 300. Just look at that betting record. Aljamain Sterling to beat Sean O'Malley. Ugh. Israel Adesanya to win by KO against Sean Strickland. Ugh. Leon Edwards to win by KO against Colby Covington. Sean Strickland to beat DDP. And after that, Israel Adesanya to beat DDP. Yeah. Alex's fight was literally the odd one out. And just to say Shama to Drake's face, Alex was also responsible for Drake's biggest loss in history. Drake's biggest sports bet loss of all time, $1.59 million, was incorrectly predicting that Israel Adesanya would beat Alex Pereira at UFC 281 in November 2022. Oh, and also, yes, there is literally a website. Yes, this guy pays for a domain monthly to keep this website online. dedicated to how cursed currently Drake's bets are. From boxing to UFC to NFL, I think he has more money than sense right now. Bedtime MMA's Overlooking Curse.
We're going to go with the Overlooking Curse. This is a huge, huge problem in MMA. You get these guys that are great fighters, win streaks, running the game. They start overlooking their opponents. They start going, well, after this fight, I want to fight this guy, Think about Aljamain Sterling. I want to fight Volkanovski next. Look what happened. Now you're fighting fucking Rafi and Stotts in Bellator probably, little bro. Like, Dana White's probably going to cut Aljo. Let's be real, bro. Who else? I remember Anderson Silva. He was overlooking Weidman. He was talking about fighting Jones or GSP next. He loses, McGregor, he's not even worried about Nate Diaz. He's like, yeah, I'm not worried about this guy. I'm going to fight for the lightweight belt next. Loses that fight. This is a real thing that happens, dude. This is a real curse that happens. I think it's not S tier because it's so vague that you can't really apply it to some fights, even though you might be able to. But when a fighter is very openly and very actively overlooking their opponents, they are cursed. They're probably going to lose that fight. Think back to all the times you can think of where a guy is like, I'm going to do this, and this when I win. And then immediately they fucking lose. So this one's a serious curse that definitely still happens. All right, dude?
Credit to Bedtime MMA, of course. I wouldn't have known this without him. But also, just to reiterate, there's a bunch of people in the comments that say, that this Overlooking Curse was originated long before Bedtime MMA's video. Yes, I get it. I'm just crediting him specifically. The Overlooking Curse has so many examples where the video will lose its point and just span out like too much. So one example I can remember clearly, it was when Usman was at his peak, and he was talking in a podcast that he was ready to box Canelo at some point.
When have you ever seen the two pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in their respective sports, both in their respective prime, go at it? Name a time.
Who are you talking about now?
Who is the pound-for-pound best boxer in the world right now?
Canelo, are you talking about? That's the money fight, too.
So there was speculation and some interview questions where Alex was asked if he was overlooking Khalil for his lukewarm 8th place ranking in the division. Luckily, Alex Pereira does not get drunk from fame and knows the value of each fighter and each fight. He always trains just as hard and never backs away from a fight, just making the recent fight even more respectable to look at. Khalil probably lost no fans after that. I am pretty sure he gained a massive following after that. Such a contrast in dynamics when seeing the KO loss in Jamal Hill's perspective and Khalil Rountree's perspective. There is more I want to say, but it will make this video less evergreen. It will get lost in the recency hype while I try to make it kind of like a long-lasting video. So I need to like chill down. I need to calm down a little bit. But knowing Alex Pereira, I'm probably going to end up making another video about him in a couple of months anyway, so there's always that.